What's up guys, Chris here. Welcome to the very first tutorial on this channel. As a lot of conversations I kept having with you guys on social media revolved around the same topics, I decided to just start a little tutorial series with tricks and tips on production that you can apply today. This series is based on Ableton Live, as that's my primary software I'm using myself, and wherever possible I'll try to use only the internal Ableton effects so that all of you can apply these little techniques in your studio or at home. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The first thing you need is a kick drum. You can either make your own kick drums, layer your own kicks, or just use one from a sample pack, whatever you prefer. In my case, I have a kick here that is quite short and quite punchy, so let me just play that for you real quick. Really nothing special on the kick. The only thing I liked about it a lot is the punchiness it had to it. So all I've done here is I've added a bit of EQ, a low pass basically, and I've added a bit of gain around 200 Hz to just give it more of a punch. Also, I've added a corridor effect, which is a reverb effect or a room effect, which I'm actually not using right now, but I will towards the end of this video. So the second thing you want to do is you want to add the same kick again to another channel. So you want to have two channels with exactly the same kick signal. This one I call boom because it is not actually a kick, it's more of a boomy sound. So let's just listen to this real quick. Yeah, it sounds more like you're standing outside of a club than a kick drum. So how did I do this? This is a little effect rack that I've built, and this one will be available as a download. I'll put the link in the description for this. And this one will also be part of a more extensive Ableton rack pack that I'm planning to release later this year. So let's actually build this one from scratch so you understand exactly how we've done it. The first thing you want to use is the corpus effect. The corpus effect is available in Audio Effects, Corpus. And if you open up the presets, there's a couple of really useful ones for this purpose. So I usually start with the sub kick maker, which immediately makes the kick sound like this. That's pretty much what we want, but obviously in a different key and a lot more filter down. So we're gonna apply the filter here and just go towards the very low end here and maybe drag it up a bit, so make it a bit wider. So that we have more frequencies covered by this filter. Then the tune down here, you can see a little C1. We're going to change the tune to the key that we're in with this track, which I think in this case is F. So let's listen to this again. That already sounds pretty sweet to me. So let's jump to the next step. Next, you're going to put on a little room. In this case, there's a couple of cool rooms in Ableton. You might want to start with, for example, the drums room. You can tell obviously this is very wet right now, so you have to turn down the dry wet here and just apply like a little bit. And don't worry about EQing this here right now or doing a lower high cut because we're going to add a low pass filter right now. So we're going to go to auto filter and just turn down the frequency here. And that is pretty close to where you want to be. The next thing you want to add is a multiband compression so that it just glues it together a bit. And I'm just going to use a standard multiband here. And I'm going to probably not use the full extent of this, maybe like 60%, around 60%, so that it is still doing a bit of parallel compression here. Then what you do is you just group these, and that is your little effect rack. I have then mapped several of these knobs to these quicker ones so that you can actually change the parameters even quicker. All right, let's listen to the kick and the boom together. The next thing I do, and this is a very cool thing, is I drag one of those kick samples onto a MIDI channel. So you just take it and you drag it down here into a MIDI channel. You see it here, down here it says kick. What you can then do with this channel, if it's armed on the right, you can play this on your keyboard. As you can hear, you can do some really cool things. And in this case, I've just recorded a little pattern. This pattern is a two-step, which is very common in techno. So it's like 1, 2, 1, 2, and it keeps repeating itself after two steps or after two hits there. So what this does, you can tell it's almost like a little rumble or like a little shuffle. It is not perfectly quantized. I left it quite off grid to add a bit more dynamic to the rhythm. By itself, it sounds like this. But the interesting thing is this is also still based on the kick. So all the sub bass and all the low end is all based off that one kick with processing on it. So this has the exact same settings on as the boom that we've just created before, or that you've tweaked from the rack that I gave you. So this, these three things together are basically what make most of the low end and techno tracks. At least that's how I get to the result of the sound. I'm not saying this is the right way to do it. This is just how I do it and how I get like pretty cool sounding low end. So if we listen to this together, it sounds like this. And then all you want to do in the end is maybe add a little hi-hat, add a chord stab, and you're pretty much good to go. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please hit the like button and make sure to subscribe for more. I'll be uploading a lot more tutorials throughout the year. And if you have any suggestions on what kind of topics you want me to pick on, just leave a comment down below and I'll be in touch. See you guys in the next one.